Gold's Gym, Venice Beach, California. Summer of 1972, 5:42 p.m. Iron-clanged dumbbells fell heavily onto the rubber floor, and the smell of chalk and sweat filled the air. It was the temple of the West Coast's most monstrous bodybuilders, and it was there that Bruce Lee heard a phrase that would ignite everything. Muscles always beat speed. Before we go on, think about this as you listen to the story. Do you really believe that brute force always wins? Stay until the end and give your answer in the comments. Bruce Lee was in Los Angeles, alternating between film shoots and obsessive training sessions to push his body to the limit. That day, he had decided to visit Gold's Gym, a place famous for giant physiques, shoulders like mountains and lats that looked like wings. He walked in wearing a simple t-shirt, sweatpants, and sunglasses hanging from his collar. He didn't look like a movie superstar. He just looked like another skinny guy lost in a sea of titans. In one corner of the gym, 3 men dominated the atmosphere. The first was named Jack, nicknamed the Mountain. Nearly 6 feet 3 inches, around 265 pounds of muscle, with a massive chest and arms that looked like tree trunks. Beside him was Ralph, with colossal shoulders and traps that reached up to his ears. His loud laughter cut through the noise of the weights. The third was Tony, shorter, but with biceps the size of most people's thighs. A fanatic of heavy training and showing it off with every movement. Bruce approached the dumbbell rack, picked up a light weight, and began warming up his wrists, elbows, and shoulders with smooth, almost delicate movements. To the eyes of the 3 bodybuilders, it looked like child's play. "Look at that," Ralph said, not lowering his voice. "Another skinny actor playing at being strong." Tony let out a laugh. "This place is for real muscle, not movie doubles." Jack, arms crossed over his gigantic chest, looked him up and down and finished him off. At the end of the day, muscles beat speed. Always. Bruce heard them. He always heard, but he didn't react immediately. He finished his warm-up set, took a deep breath, and only then turned his head toward them with a calmness that contrasted with the inflated egos surrounding him. "Do you really believe that?" he asked without aggression, almost curious. Jack puffed out his chest even further. "Look at your body, look at ours. This is where it gets real. You'd go flying. I wouldn't even need to run." "So you're saying brute force always wins?" Bruce insisted in a serene voice. "In a real fight, yeah," Jack replied. "One hit from me and your movie is over." Around them, the noise began to fade. A few weights were set on the floor, and eyes turned toward the group. The gym, usually deafening, began to fill with a curious silence. Bruce took a small step toward them. "How about we do a test? No hits to the head, no trying to hurt anyone. Just to see if muscles really beat speed." Jack smiled confidently. "What do you want to do, little dragon?" "Give me 17 seconds, Bruce said. "If in 17 seconds you can touch me with one clean strike, you're right. If you can't, we'll talk about that phrase again." The 3 looked at each other. It was too tempting. Showing that the skinny actor was nothing compared to the Mountain would be a lifelong memory. They moved toward the stretching area, a rectangle of black rubber surrounded by mats. In less than a minute, a circle of onlookers formed. Bodybuilders, trainers, a few beginners, and even the receptionist. Jack took off his shirt, revealing a physique sculpted in stone, veins bulging in his arms and a chest projecting forward like a shield. Bruce, standing beside him, looked. The lesson of control. Bruce versus the Mountain. He was smaller, but his entire body conveyed something else. Extreme definition, controlled tension, a compressed energy ready to explode. "No punches to the head, no kicks," Bruce explained. "Only one rule. If you touch me with a clean strike, you win." "Easy," Jack replied. "And if I don't touch you, then you decide for yourself if muscle always beats speed." One of the trainers looked at the wall clock. "Ready?" Bruce nodded. Jack cracked his neck and closed his fists confidently. "Go!" The 17-second duel. Second one. Jack moves forward heavily with long strides. The floor seems to vibrate under his 120 kilograms. Bruce does not retreat. He slides sideways like water flowing around a rock. Second 2. Jack throws a jab, more a product of recreational boxing than refined technique. The fist pierces the air where Bruce's face had been half a second prior. Bruce barely tilts his head, conserving energy. Second 3. Bruce extends his lead hand and softly touches Jack's forearm. A minimal, almost friendly contact. In that touch, he measures distance, timing, and muscular tension. He knows exactly how much force the giant is putting into every move. Second 4. Jack tries to grab him by the shoulder to use his weight for a takedown. Bruce rotates his torso, enters inside the grip, and lightly pushes Jack's elbow outward. The giant loses his balance for an instant but doesn't fall. The observers hold their breath. Second 5. Jack's expression shifts from confidence to irritation. He lunges with a violent straight punch, putting his whole body behind the blow. If it connected, it would drop most men. Second 6. Bruce takes a half step inward, closing the distance. Jack's arm loses its reach, and the punch turns soft, devoid of power. As the fist passes by his side, Bruce places 2 quick taps with his fingertips on the center of the giant's chest. It doesn't hurt, but Jack feels his balance falter. Second 7. Frustrated, Jack tries to use his shoulder as a battering ram, pushing Bruce with the strength that has earned him so much praise in the gym. Bruce yields a step, captures that momentum, and with a simple hip turn guides Jack's body to the side. Suddenly, the mountain has his back half turned to everyone, exposing his flank. Second 8. Bruce could have pushed him hard and sent him to the floor. Instead, he gently places a hand on Jack's back and guides him back to the starting position, like an instructor correcting a student. The humiliation isn't in the fall. It's in the control. Second 9. Jack's breathing begins to get louder, not from physical fatigue but from mental confusion. Ralph and Tony, who were laughing before, are now silent with their arms crossed and brows furrowed. Second 10. Come on, Jack, crush him, someone shouts from the back. The pressure rises. Jack let out a grunt and goes all in. He tries to wrap Bruce in a bear hug, determined to use pure mass. Bruce lowers his center of gravity, takes a tiny step forward and pivots. Jack's body rushes past him like a truck losing control on a curve. Second 11. Jack nearly trips but manages to recover his stance. Bruce doesn't finish him off or take the opportunity to take him down. He simply observes him with the calm of someone analyzing a chess problem. Second 12. Breathe, use your head, Tony whispers, now without a trace of mockery. Jack raises an improvised guard and prepares one last straight punch to Bruce's chest, determined to touch him at least once. Second 13. Bruce closes in so tightly that Jack's arm has no room to extend. The elbow joint locks before the blow can gain power. Bruce places one hand on Jack's bicep and the other on his tricep, neutralizing the entire movement with a minimal gesture. Second 14. With a small flick of the wrist, Bruce directs Jack's arm downward. To avoid losing his balance, the giant takes a step forward. For an instant, his entire mass is vulnerable without a solid base. Second 15. Bruce raises his lead hand and rests it exactly in the center of Jack's chest. He doesn't push, he doesn't strike. He simply makes it silently clear that, if he wanted to, that contact could become a short punch capable of sending him to the floor. Second 16. The entire gym falls into absolute silence. No clanging weights, no conversations, no laughter. Only the heavy breathing of the mountain. Second 17. Bruce withdraws his hand, takes 2 steps back and says in a calm voice, "Time." The aftermath. Jack remains standing. No broken bones, no hits to the face, not a single scratch, but something broke inside. The certainty that brute force always wins. Bruce speaks without a mocking tone. "You didn't touch me once with a clean strike. I didn't need to hit you hard either. I don't have to be stronger than you. I just have to be where your strength is useless." Jack swallows hard. "So you're saying muscles are useless?" Bruce shakes his head. "Muscles are incredible. They are powerful tools. But when you depend only on them, you become a prisoner of your own weight. Brute force is like a hammer, speed and timing are like a key. The hammer breaks doors. The key opens them without destroying anything." Ralph and Tony approach, visibly uncomfortable. "I thought you were going to send him flying," Ralph admits. Bruce smiles slightly. "If I had tried to be stronger than him, I probably would have been the one flying. I don't fight against strength. I fight against the other person's decisions." He looks Jack in the eye. "You spend hours building muscle, doing reps until failure. I spend hours training my gaze, timing, distance, and breathing. The body is just the tool. The mind is the hand that holds that tool." Jack lowers his shoulders, not in physical defeat, but in newly discovered humility. He extends his hand. "I underestimated you, Bruce." "And you underestimated yourself," Bruce responds. "With this body and this strength, if you learn control, timing, and humility, you will be much more dangerous than someone who only knows how to hit hard." After that day, the phrase "muscle beats speed" was heard less often inside Gold's gym. Jack began practicing footwork, shadowboxing, and fluid movements. The iron bar remained important, but it now shared space with training for balance, coordination, and reading the opponent. Those who were there told the story for years. The story of the thin actor who, in 17 seconds, disarmed the ego of 3 human mountains without landing a single destructive blow. If you've made it this far, leave a like so more people understand that force without control is just dead weight. Comment: "Muscle without mind doesn't win," to let me know you listened until the end. And subscribe to the channel if you want more stories like this, where martial arts legends don't just destroy opponents, they destroy egos. Because as Bruce Lee taught, the true martial artist doesn't demonstrate how much he can destroy, but how much he can control.